Okay, we are live now. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. All right, we are live as close to 9:45 as I can get, which is far off
Hmm.
because I got home late. I'm fucking tired. I didn't even have a chance to pour my drinky poo
I'm pretty tired myself. I got home at like 2 a.m. last night.
last night.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in maybe in jock stuff. We'll get to that. So yeah, because that's yeah, you're just a traveling man now, huh?
Yeah,
That's pretty wild. I'm gonna start off with something I wanted to save for like my own video, but I ain't got fucking time for that. So I am gonna do a little taste test action because I'm on to like the last sips of these whiskeys, and I just want to get rid of them. So I've got the Game of Thrones Johnny Walker
Oh, nice. I got one of
song.
those up there.
Yeah, and I was talking to a friend of ours about it. He's like, I'd like to have those bottles as collectibles. I'm like, yeah, that'd be nice, but I'm gonna drink it, and I drink it until it's gone, and then I get another bottle.
Oh, yeah.
However,
But you could
however,
save the empty bottle if you wanted to collect it.
well, yeah, no, you could, but I ain't no place to put those. It would be cool, but however, the pair of these bottles together sells for $30 for the two
Hmm.
of them, and one of them sells for $30 full. So it's like, all right, it's like a buy two get one, buy two get one free, or buy one get one free.
Nice.
So I've never actually compared them. So this is the Song of Ice. I can't do the notes bullshit. I mean, I got a rocks glass and I got one of those little tiny Glencairn's glasses, so I don't get the smell out of it.
Hmm.
Smells like sweet fire to me.
Probably smells like whiskey.
Yeah, it smells like whiskey and it tastes like burning.
Hmm.
That one's kind of yeah. See, I don't know. I can't crack it down. I was trying to watch a video today of these guys drinking this other one. Oh man, I could smell this all day. Ooh, something like, oh, it smells like, it tastes like gingerbread. And
Yeah,
I get some,
bullshit.
yeah, I get some vanilla notes, or I've got some floral notes. Like,
Hmm.
no, you fucking don't. All right. I know you drink a lot of whiskey, so your palate's a little more broken down, but the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. So I tried doing. Fuck it. That one's all right. So, because I bought this and I sucked it down to like the last sip, and then I went and bought the Song of Fire.
Oh,
These bottles are sick. The design
yeah.
work on them, the
I
paint on
have
them is cool.
I have like a White Walker, some shit.
Yeah, I think you said that to me. The reviews I saw on a White Walker, people were like, "This is gross," but you're supposed to put it in the freezer, and then it
Yeah.
actually tastes better.
Hmm. Well,
So
mine's on a shelf right now. So
yeah, well, you don't drink this shit constantly, right?
no, just on special occasions, I guess.
Yeah. See, I'm like pouring myself about maybe a double every two times a week, 2-3 times a week maybe, and then I usually end up falling asleep and dumping out half of it. That's why I only get cheap shit. Really, the good shit
Huh.
I actually drink a good amount of. So let me pour just a dab of this now and
Yeah, I got
see.
a bottle of Johnny Blue up there. I got
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever had blue.
like Johnny
Oh, maybe I have.
Walker 18.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I looked it up. It was a gift, but I looked it up. It's like $100 bottle.
Oh yeah, those yeah, it's like red's the cheapest, black's the next, double black, and then I think green, blue, and gold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how the Johnny Walker works.
Yeah, I think blue's like $200.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's like a small bottle that I had that somebody had at a party I went to, and you were tasting it, and it was good, but yeah, it was probably a couple $100 for some shit. So, all right, let's see. See this? Okay. I can't taste. I can't tell you what the different taste is. However, there's definitely a difference in taste. This
Huh.
is like the Song of Fire is almost a little more smoky.
Ah,
And see, we can drink enough of this because I remember the first couple ones I had. I'm like, I don't like this at all, but I kind of want to get into this shit.
yeah.
So, but I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. But then this tastes like every whiskey I've tasted, like it's that smoky flavor to it, like a monkey, not whiskey, Scotch specifically.
Yeah.
Like I had like a monkey shoulder, which is like a good introductory Scotch, and that's good, but that's like a smoky flavor to it. The
Monkey
fired
shoulder.
monkey shoulder, it's called. Yeah, it's pretty popular. It comes in a pretty sick looking bottle.
Hmm.
But yeah, so this one is definitely a smokier flavor. The ice is more of a sweet flavor. Huh. All right, now here's what we're gonna do. I'll do a little of this. See what I got left here. That's a lot. Fuck. Can't tell with these heavy ass bottles. So now I'm mixing.
Oh boy. This is gonna fall off the rails here.
Yeah, because the last time I ate something was about 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. So
I ate like a fucking 12-year-old today.
yeah.
Because I got back late last night. I didn't have a chance to go shop right. So I had like 2 frozen waffles for breakfast. I had like 2 chewy Chips Ahoy cookies. I had an Italian combo at lunch, and then I had fucking chips and guacamole and fucking pizza rolls for dinner.
Yeah, oh, geez, that sounds fantastic.
I feel fucking awful.
Pat says I drink straight out of the bottle. You know, I thought about doing that, Pat, not mixing them two in the glass, but forget, I'm gonna combine them both anyway. But I know, right? See, and I haven't gotten into cigars. He says have a cigar with it. I haven't. I mean, I don't smoke at all. I never have. I really don't think I'd get into cigars.
I can't really. I like the idea of cigars. I always want one, but then I have one and I taste it for 5 days.
Yeah,
You know.
I've never smoked anything. I don't want to. I don't know. I can't get into it. Blot Outdoors, is that a type of whiskey, Scotch? I do not know. I'm more of a bourbon guy. Bourbon is I don't know. I can't explain the difference. Bourbon doesn't have that like smoky kind of flavor to it, but all right. So now I've got my decent double here. Usually, it's a mix of the two. Let's see how this goes. That's like it literally just takes the two of the flavors and like puts them together.
Well, no shit. You mix them.
No, but usually sometimes it would make some kind of unique taste, a blended Scotch.
Oh, this is
Like
like a popular thing.
yeah, it would be like a unique taste. This just literally tastes like I took the two and put them together. Like have you ever had anything with chocolate and bacon?
I don't think so.
I remember that was a thing, like chocolate and bacon, and like, oh, there's chocolate covered bacon, or here's an Oreo that's dunked in chocolate and has bacon on it. And I had it, and it doesn't taste like it doesn't have no salty, sweet, fantastic flavor. It just tastes like bacon and chocolate.
Huh.
And that's it. Yeah. So I'm a Maker Mark. Yeah, Maker's Mark is good. Maker's Mark's very popular too. I really like as far as bourbon goes, I like Buffalo Trace. I even just tweeted out that I can't wait to get myself a bottle of Woodford Reserve double oaked
Oh,
that I got.
I got a bottle of that over there.
That stuff is good, man.
Well,
I killed that bottle in probably a week myself.
Mm.
That bottle was so good. I can't wait to get one. And I know when we do our little Friendsgiving here and Mako comes over, I'm sure me and him will be having some kind of tasting going on because he's been into whiskey long before I was. So Pat also said, so the cigar to try is Drew Estates Java Mint. Said you won't taste the ashtray.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep. And also hydrate. Yep, hydrate. But anybody got time for that, Pat? I'm just drinking here. Seth's drinking his Coke Zero, and I like to dabble a little bit at night. So yeah, so let's get into new business. What's been on your mind the past week? 2 weeks actually. That was funny. We did Cube Nerds last week. Me and Scott. No, actually Scott did it on his own last week. Man, so was it 2 weeks ago? I guess 2 weeks ago was us, and then 3 weeks ago was me and Scott again for another Cube Nerds. Geez, 3 weeks ago. God, time flies.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, what was that? Oh, that was when I was away in Florida.
Yeah. But yeah, so 3 weeks ago already. So yeah, so I was talking with him and I was drinking, I was yapping, and my dad was even texting me. He's like, he's up on the bourbon. I'm like, all right, it's all right. I'm not going nuts here.
Nice.
We're having a good conversation. That's all. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. What's what you been up to the past 2 weeks?
Let's see. What have I done? Work. Work's been a little crazy. You know, some pursuits, some fatal accidents. You know.
last night, standoff in my town.
Oh boy.
Standoff about I mean, I don't know all the details, but apparently a gentleman held up in his house that they were worried he was going to harm himself.
Mm.
I live up on a hill, and if like in my backyard you could hear like the negotiator on the megaphone talking to him.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and this is like across 23, couple blocks down. All of this was going on. You drive past, and I mean, they had to tear a hole in the house, like in the SWAT movie, where they just put the harpoon through the wall of the house and take it out. That's apparently what they had to do. It was crazy. Crazy
Oh,
that something like that goes on. This was just last night. Kids, they had to evacuate the street. Kids had to stay at the fire station until like 2:30 in the morning at least.
jeez.
Yeah, poor kids. They got to go to school, and this is going on. It's fucking mayhem. Yeah,
Yeah.
typical domestic nonsense. I'm
Well, I
sure
wouldn't call that typical. That's a
when
little more than a typical.
when it comes to domestic stuff, I guess it's not a typical scenario, but
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, and now, yeah, I know is the holidays your busiest time?
No, summer takes the cake, but you do get a little uptick in domestic incidents on the holidays because families are together and they boozing and they're spending all this time together. And
Now, is it literally on the holidays?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
have you
you'll get like Christmas Eve. We'll go to a couple domestics.
a couple domestics?
Now the thing is, they're usually just like argument only. It's like two, it's I don't know. It's probably what I can imagine. It's probably two family members talking politics, and then it boils
Yeah,
over and they've been
yeah,
drinking all day and just
that's the case. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, so and yeah, I mean, I guess so, right? If you're gonna see it, it's gonna be on the actual holiday, not leading up to the holidays. Not
Yeah, it's when
crazy.
the families are together. And I've never had like a super serious one. It's usually, it's all bullshit. And people just fighting, arguing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. Like, yeah, that kind of shit sucks.
But I'd say the summer is the busiest overall.
Really,
Yeah, just it gets darker later and it's nice out, so people are out.
people are out getting into trouble, not like the holidays where they're
February at fucking midnight. It's 5 degrees out. No one wants to be out in that shit.
yeah, yeah. Was it 28 degrees outside now? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, every free moment that I've had now has been dedicated to putting up Christmas decorations.
Oh, dude.
So,
Speaking of that, while I'm away, Melissa texts me and says, half of our lights went out. So I have 3 strands of light. So I have one that goes across the roof that hangs over my porch, and then the roof on the garage. So the far left half on the porch, they're out, and it fucking drives me nuts.
yep. There's a section. I've got icicle lights that go down my garage, up my garage, down the side,
Yeah,
and there's like a section about like this big that's
yeah.
out. The rest of it is all on. One section is out.
Well, this whole strand is out, so I don't know what to do.
Well, at least if it's one strand, that's easy to just replace the strand. If
Well,
it's
yeah, but dude, I've replaced one already. Because
oh,
obviously
well,
when I was getting it ready, I plug them in to test. One of the strands didn't work. Fucking $50 GE brand ones. Now I got
yeah.
to do another one. It's like, dude, these things don't last more than like fucking 2 years.
Oh my god, don't. All right,
It's such bullshit.
I fucking had it with this shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have, I did this. I made the same mistake last year too. I have these type of icicle lights. They're blue and white, and I have 3 strands of them. Perfect. They fit perfectly across the one side of my house. Okay, so I would do that, and I plug them all in. I'm like, okay, good. This one lights up. This one lights up. This one lights up. Perfect. I put them up, and then when the nighttime comes around, okay, the second half of this strand is out. The second half of this strand is out. So it's not even like it's a full strand. It's two halves of two different strands of lights that are out. Son of a bitch. Now I've got to replace two different strands of lights. All of our fucking blow-ups. We have so many blow-ups. And after a day, the light is out. The thing blows up just fine, but the light is out. Okay, let me check. I've got this Grogu one from last year. He's holding a stocking with Mando's face on it. The kids love it. I love it. It's cool. It blows up. It looks perfect. It stands up perfect. It looks good, but the light is out in it after a fucking year. Great. Okay, let me turn it off. Let me check it. Let me pull it inside out to check it. It doesn't even have a bulb to replace. It has a fucking little circuit. So it's like, oh, the light's out. Well, I guess you're fucked then. You're gonna have to buy another one.
Yeah.
Like, son of a bitch, what a fucking racket it is.
I'm about to give up and put that fucking like spotlight thing that just like rotates like designs on your house.
I know.
About to do that.
Lazy lights, they call them, but who
Yeah.
gives
Oh
a
yeah.
shit?
I'm
Yeah.
about to do that shit. That's what's
Yep.
coming next year.
Yeah. Pat said the Clark Griswold syndrome. That's what I was pulling out of. I was pulling out some out of a Tupperware I have. I pulled it on hand of my wife. I was like, all right, if you want to get started on that one right there, it was just a big fucking ball of lights. Because no matter how easy you fold them or wrap them, they're all getting twisted up and tangled and getting fucked up. People put up lights. People put up lights and Christmas trees in October down here. I think, Pat, I saw you're in North Carolina now. Yeah, and he used to be in a Jersey town by me where they would get wild with the lights. Like somebody had some kind of waterfall up in a high tree of lights, and it was wild. It was cool. And I love that people do that. Like the people at the top of the hill from me, they've made it a spectacle. They put up their whole entire yard is blow ups. The house is covered in lights. They post about it online, and it's cool because it draws a lot of attention up to my area. So it's not like I'm putting my lights up for nothing. You know, people want to check out their house because their house is bonkers. But oh my god, I don't know how they do it every year and do it so efficiently because I would kill myself.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If I had so many blow ups and lights and I'm blowing them up and they're not working. Like I've got 5 that just you plug them in, nothing happens.
Ugh.
It's fucking torture. It's torture. Oh, god damn. But my house looks good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, when my shit's on, it looks cool, but
yeah, you just gotta get there first.
Ghetto right now, half on.
Yeah. How much traffic do you even get down your road though?
Not a lot. It's residential.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Well, there's fucking houses there, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
There's gonna be people driving.
It's not like it's a busy street. I mean,
no.
You know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of houses around, so you know, people are going to and from.
Local. All right.
There's enough that, you know, and I don't think anyone I think Christmas lights are more for like you and your family, you know.
Wait, you think Christmas lights are for yourself than others?
Yeah. Like my kids get a kick out of seeing it. Like I'm not doing it for the guy driving by. Fuck that guy.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm trying to think like when I was a kid, what I liked a lot. I mean, I guess I liked my house.
Yeah, okay, dude. I bet you put up as much lights as you do now before you had kids.
No.
I mean, we had your wife on here 2 weeks ago, pretending to say your daughter was talking about the Christmas lights, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I'm trying to think because I mean, I was in a much smaller house when it was just me and my wife. So we obviously didn't go as crazy. We didn't have the room. We didn't spend the money. Yeah, we definitely do more for the kids.
Well, there you go.
But I mean, I guess they like it. But I know when I was a kid, like I liked my house being nice and dolled up that my dad would do. But I mean, it was cool driving around and seeing other houses too. Like driving around and looking at Christmas lights is a thing.
Oh no, I know that for sure. But that's, you know, I just think, you know, if I didn't have kids, I would fucking rip them down right now.
Yeah,
because they're not working. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Christmas, and I get when I pull into my driveway and see my house, it's more, you know, I like to see it. And hey, if other people like it too, then I guess it's just an added benefit. But
yeah,
you know, if I didn't love how they looked, I wouldn't put them up. You know.
Yeah, Because that same deal. Like I drove into my house today, and my wife got home last night, and she's like, "Yeah, it all looks good. It does." Okay, yeah, so it does. It looks good. Um, but yeah, I guess yeah, that's true. If I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't be putting in all the effort for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe because my wife is big into that. My wife likes to try to keep up with the Joneses. So with the people up the street going nuts, she wants to do as much as possible. And we're like the introductory to the hill too, you know. So when you come up the hill, our house is the first one you
So
see.
you got to
So
set the tone.
exactly. Which I said today too. It tells a nice little story. You get to the top of the hill, and you got the little meteor lights coming down, and then you go, "Oh, let me look at this house," and you got a whole giant lineup of blow-ups. And then as you drive around, the blow-ups just keep going. The string of lights keep going. You got a big archway. It's a nice little deal. And when you keep going, it just gets crazier. So
Nice.
it's something. So yeah, I mean, I guess what else you been? I'm hearing an echo. You watching this on YouTube?
No,
All right,
I
that's
am
weird.
not.
All right then. Um, yeah, I mean, I try to take some notes of some stuff that was going on and stuff that came up and just questions I had. So, all right, I don't think we ever talked about this before. Um, do you still have any student debt? Or no, you had a
No.
scholarship, right?
Yeah, half, and
Half
then
scholarship.
the other half was, it was a state school. It was cheap to pay off. So
Okay. So, because I mean, I still have a good amount of student debt, and I haven't finished because I used a lot of it to pay for my wedding. So now I have to pay it all back.
mm.
But so the argument, you tell me the Republican side of it, I guess.
Oh, I know where we're going with this, dude, and I'm sure you could tell where I'm coming from,
So is
dude.
the
Look, put it this way: you buy a house, right?
uh-huh.
Should I fucking pay for your house?
No, okay. So what? The fact that what your taxes would go up to pay for somebody else's student loan debt?
Yeah, bullshit, dude. Get the fuck out of here. And look, this is coming from a guy. Look, I went to college because I played basketball, right?
Hmm.
I went to college to play basketball. I didn't take advantage of school. At the time, it was immature. When I got out of the Marines, college was more important. But even then, it was more of a money grab because I was using my GI Bill. So I was basically getting paid to go to school. So basically, what I'm getting at is I have a high school diploma and I make a good living.
Hmm.
My wife is about to complete her master's program.
Hmm.
She's gonna have her master's degree in like 2 weeks. And I make a good bit more than she does.
Hmm.
And it has nothing to do with obviously she's very skilled and experienced in her job, just like what the profession lends. All my friends, I say this all the time. Out of all my friends, the guys that make the most are the guys in the unions and the guys who are police officers.
Okay.
Now, I have a friend who does very well for himself, and he's in the private sector, but like he's the only one that like blew it out of the water. Like the private sector and people that go that route use like their college degrees. I feel like they have a higher ceiling, but I feel like the floor for civil service and union jobs is much higher. Because I know
Okay.
plenty of people with like degrees that make an okay living, but it's going to take them fucking 20 years to pay off that student loan debt.
Hmm.
So,
So, because I mean, a lot of the argument that I've seen is like, well, I had to pay for mine, so you have to pay for yours.
well, yeah, that too.
But is that so? Now, okay, now how much would your
Well,
taxes go up?
this is the thing, right? Me and you, a perfect example. I don't have student loan debt. You do. So you feel like, oh yeah, it'd be cool if someone paid off my student loan debt. Yeah, well, I don't want to. You know what I mean? I don't
Well, now,
fucking have it.
so would my taxes go up too?
Well, I don't know, but if they do, then it's fucking counterproductive. And also, too, now you want to like help people. You want to institute something to help student loans go. How about we stop paying for something stupid and put it towards student loan debt? You want to tell me taxes aren't going up, but we're going to reallocate these taxes to pay off student loan debt? Then I don't really have a gripe because I'm already paying the taxes.
Okay.
Because I'm sure taxes go to some dumb shit. There's going to be taxes for people that go to certain things that people don't agree with. That's just natural. Some people are going to agree with it. Some people aren't. Then you're going to be a fan of some stuff that taxes go to, and then the other person might not be. But I don't like the whole thing. Like, dude, you go to the bank, you take out a fucking loan, you pay it back. I lend you $200, I expect it back. This isn't freebies, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you know what you're getting into. Like, I'm gonna have the conversation with my children when the time comes. My offer to them is gonna be like, hey, look, you can go to junior college for the first 2 years. Obviously, if they get a scholarship, all bets are off. Then, hey, go enjoy. You earned it. Good job, right? But if they don't and they just want to go to regular 4-year school, hey, stay home, go to community college for 2 years. I will pay that. Then you transfer to a 4-year school. Now your student loan is cut in half. Your student loan debt is cut in half.
But do you think that minimalizes now, like, people trying to get an education because they can't afford to pay it back?
Well, no, because we clearly have this crisis that we have because people are just fucking signing up for fucking school, you know. And the thing is that what's tough about the whole thing is like you're 18 making that decision. You don't know shit about shit. You
It's
know, like my
true.
wife went to a private, university on Long Island. And then her sister went to a state school. The difference in tuition is fucking night and day, right? But at the end of the day, a bachelor's is a bachelor's, right? Like in the experience and everything gained, and that it was a nice school, but you're paying out the ass compared to if you went to a state school.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really deters anyone. I think because if it did deter enough people, we wouldn't be in the problem we're in now.
I think going forward, it might be more of a problem.
It might, but hey, it is what it is. Like get a, because you can go to trade schools, you can do other things. You don't have to go to the $50,000 a year university.
But now the option of, free education, it's not free, obviously. You still got to pay a little bit somehow, but like, what about your kids being able to go to college just for a little bit more on your taxes?
Well, see, this is the thing. Like, how much are we talking? What's a little bit? Like, how much
I
more
don't
am I
know.
paying?
I don't
Well, that's the
know.
thing, man. Like, you can't say a little bit because student loans, that's a lot of debt. Like, think about it. One person could rack up $200,000, right? Let's just say the
Fucking
average is
bonkers.
$100,000, right? $100,000, and now we're talking about millions of people. I mean, dude, your taxes going up a little bit to pay for it? I don't think so.
Well, that's the question. That's why, like I'm saying, like, I don't know
Yeah,
how
if you
much
told me my
more it's going to
taxes were,
cost you.
but again, like I don't think college isn't for everyone, right? Like we have that's the one thing with America. As much as I love like freedom and all, people think they're entitled to way too much shit. College isn't for
Well,
everyone.
that's a different argument. Is people thinking they're entitled to,
Well,
like,
this is
yeah,
kind of it
it would
comes
be
off very
nice.
entitled. Like I want to go to college. I want you to pay for it. I don't want to have to pay student loan debt. But like, you know
Well,
what? Life
I
isn't
don't.
fair.
Who's saying that? Like, I didn't say that. I didn't go there expecting someone was going to pay my
Well,
debt.
no, I'm saying the far left extreme argument to this is people want free college, Oh,
Yeah.
you see it. Democratic politicians run on that shit all the time. Oh, free college, free college. Cuomo ran on that. Free state college. Dude, my cousin was looking into sending her two boys to school. Single mom. She was like, I didn't even qualify for that shit. You got to be so low income to qualify for,
Yeah.
this free state schooling, it was
Mhm.
just a talking point. It sounds great, but I just you want to go to college, you want to take out it's like any other loan. Like the bank don't give a shit. I'm not getting mortgage forgiveness, I'm not getting personal loan forgiveness. I built my deck and pool. Like no one's forgiven that.
Yeah. And that part of it makes sense. It's part of it. Yeah, and I think it comes down to the concept of, like, it's something we talked about very early on, even, of being like, well, like, no, I did it. I understand it. I have to pay for it. What's mine is mine, and I have to deal with it. Or what if we could do a little bit something that helps out other people? And again, not saying one way is worse than the other because there's differing opinions in both of them. Because like, yeah, like, you take out a fucking loan, you got to pay it back. That's how it
Yeah.
goes. That's life. You can't do that with everything.
Yeah.
College is almost like they're trying to make it like an exception. It's not like a typical loan because it's ridiculous amounts of money that are crushing people because they're not able to pay them back because people aren't making the salaries out of college to pay for what they just paid to get that degree and to get
Oh,
the
don't
education.
get me wrong. I am 100% on board that education is outrageously fucking
I just
expensive.
want
Like it's
to
way
say out
over the
loud
top.
too that Pat said he totally agrees with Seth,
There you go.
and that you
All right,
own it and
Pat.
take responsibility.
That's it, man. It's part of life. And don't get me wrong, I think it's very overpriced. Like, outrageous some of these what these schools are asked for. And then like during, the whole COVID quarantine thing, you hear like these Ivy League schools, they're not even reducing tuition. It's like, yo, these kids aren't even on campus. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So I think that's a different argument. I think it's ridiculously overpriced. But also, like, hey, that going in, that's where the parents got to step in, right? Because again, at 18, you're probably not thinking clearly, like, oh yeah, I'll pay it back. I really love this school. Your heart's set on it. You know, you make dumb decisions.
Mhm.
I would think the consensus would be as you get older, you become more financially responsible. So at 18, I could see an 18-year-old getting taken advantage of stuff, but that's where the parents have to step in and be like, hey, look, I know you want to go to this private university, but if you go to this state school, I can help you. And what you'll have left to pay off will be, not much. It'll be manageable.
Mhm.
So these conversations need to be had. And when they're not, and then like, this kid leaves a private university with $200,000 of student loan debt. And then he's like, well, I want a nice big house too. It's like, well, dude, like you can't fucking have everything. Like maybe you shouldn't have went to fucking,
Well,
Harvard. I don't know what to say.
that's part of another argument too. Well, first we'll say so. Pat's the student debt relief to cost an average of $30 billion annually.
Yeah, that's insane amounts of money.
So
I don't
now
think that's going to jack up your taxes a little bit.
over the next 10 years. So yeah, I don't know what that accounts to for a specific person. But so also, yeah, because like you said, I mean, yeah, they're coming out and saying like, well, I want a nice big house or I want it this and that. This is a whole fucking ridiculous argument talking about minimum wage and people working in the first place and coming out. Because I know somebody who went to college to be a teacher and they were a teacher for like 2 years and they were like, fuck, I can't do this. I'm not making any money and this and that. And they ended up becoming a New York City police officer.
Right. Now,
And now,
hey,
now they,
I bust guys' chops on my job all the time because we get a little bit of a bonus, right? So if you have an associate's degree, it comes during the summer in one of the paychecks. If you have an associate's degree, it's $250. If you have a bachelor's degree, it's $500. If you have a
wow,
master's, it's $750.
that's
Dude, it's
crazy.
like crazy what? Crazy bad? Or
Crazy ridiculous. Like, what does that fucking piece of paper mean?
well, right, but like I think it's comical how low. Like, so, dude, the guy who's got $160,000 student loan debt to get his bachelor's degree, every summer he gets one check that has $500 more in it than I do.
Yeah. Well,
So I
that's
joke
true.
around.
That's
I'm like,
true.
yo, I was like, you take your $500. I'll take my fucking no debt.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks. And we're doing the same
exactly.
fucking job.
Yeah, that in the first place. Yeah, that's not making
Yeah.
any kind of dent in the armor at all.
No, not at all. And then the guy
Yeah,
with the master's degree, he's probably got $250,000 in debt. Yeah,
yeah,
here's your 750 once a year. All right,
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's fucking absurd. But then also again too, like giving them money because they have an education, because they have a degree. But what is that degree for? Is it just because they have one?
well, a lot of time, like for instance, in the military, right? If you're an enlisted man, that means you have a high school. You can be an enlisted man with a college degree as well, but you cannot be a commissioned officer. Lieutenant, captain, major, colonel, all the way up to general. You cannot be a commissioned officer in the military unless you have a 4-year degree. Basically, what I think it's saying is because if you have a 4-year degree, that means you're at least 22, right? So you're going to be 4 years older than most people that join the military. So right there, it gives you a little bit more maturity, and it shows you have the ability to learn at a high level. So
Hmm.
therefore, that the belief is that would make you a more, attentive, commissioned officer. So I
Okay.
think having a degree just shows, again, you have the ability to learn at a higher level than most, right?
Hmm.
Because, you
Yeah,
know,
that's all college seems to be. Not all it is. Obviously, you do learn, but what I
yeah.
got out of taking classes, what it was really just how much bullshit can you tolerate that we throw
Oh,
at you,
100%.
and then it says a lot about you that you can deal with this shit.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, and don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, I'm not trying to sit here and say college is bad. That's not
yeah.
at all.
Your wife said, "Watch
Obviously,
your mouth." I assume she's talking to me because of what I said. Something about something. I don't know.
I don't know. That's what she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, college is just obviously it's good, and people go to it for, but there's people on my job that went, they took criminal justice.
Yeah.
And like my dad,
that makes sense.
yeah, but not
At
really,
least.
because my dad warned me, because he took criminal justice, and he told me, he's like, don't take criminal justice. It's a complete waste of time, because everything you need to learn about the job and about the penal law and whatnot, you're going to
Is on
learn
the
in the
job.
academy. So like, don't bother going to school for it, because like, it's not like you're going to get in and people are going to be like, ooh, this guy's got a criminal justice degree, let's like leave him alone, and we won't.
Yeah. See, and that's because I would think that if you have that kind of degree in your field, okay, it's helpful. It makes sense. It's gonna do something for you.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
You have a degree in whatever you want, and but also too now, where there's a lot of opportunities for you to make, if you work hard enough at it, you can make a good living with no degree.
Oh, definitely.
Like the only reason I started taking classes in the first place is because my job seemed to be paying more attention to people with degrees.
Yeah. Oh no, I get that. Like there's some positions where it's like a prerequisite. Like they won't even look at you for a promotion or even getting hired unless you have a 4-year degree. Like some of these teaching positions, like if you don't even have a master's, like they won't even talk to you,
But now I feel like that's kind of gone out the window.
Well, I hope so, because obviously, having a degree, all that stuff should be factored in. It shouldn't be the end all be all, right? Because like for my job, for instance, right? You could have two 23-year-olds, right? One's got a 4-year degree, one's got a high school diploma. But the guy with a high school diploma has 4 years active duty military. And the guy with the 4-year degree, he was a frat boy who partied for the last 4 years, right? Then you interview the two. Sure, there's a benefit to the guy with the 4-year degree, because he has the ability, he shows the ability to learn at a high level. But then there's also advantages. The guy with no degree, but he has 4 years military. He's shown he can withstand, the high demands with discipline and customs and courtesies and getting through, tough times, right? So I think you should be looked at and like make a, good decision off that. Hire the best candidate. Don't be like, oh, well, this guy's got the 4-year degree, we're going with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, there's some jobs, it's like you can't even interview unless you have X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it seemed they were just running out of options to tell me of like why I wasn't getting jobs. So I was like, oh, do you have a degree?
See, that's bullshit, because like where you're at in your career, and like same with my wife. Like my wife's, gonna finish her master's just to be more competitive. She's like an assistant director, but like she it's at the point now she has like 12 years experience in this field. That should outweigh any degree or certification. Because like let's say there's some like shit hot college grad that's going for the same position as her. Like, yeah, I got this degree, I got this certification, blah, 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 blah. It looks awesome, right? Yeah, but the other one has 12 years experience.
Yeah.
Like, cool, you got all these fancy degrees and certifications, but like this one's done the job at a high level. So
that shit drove me nuts hearing that. I'd be like, yeah, like I've got 10 years experience, and here's this fucking kid coming off the street with a degree in fucking Latin. And well, he's got a degree. So like, what absurdity is that?
Yep.
But now that's why I think it's almost like, they're smartening up and realizing that doesn't account for anything. The only thing it really shows is that you can tolerate nonsense and bullshit and get through it. And like, that's what that means. It doesn't mean you have any more knowledge or experience. It just means that you can put up with a lot of shit that we throw at you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely one aspect. And hey, there's positives to that too. Again, hey, you persevered through college,
Mm-hmm.
But
so the moral of the story is don't go to college in the first place, so you don't rack up any debt in the first place.
Well, hey, it's not for everyone, and like that's something you gotta weigh. But it's tough to do that at 18. That's why I think it's super important for parents to step in and go over it. Be like, hey, look, break it down year by year. Like, hey, this is what you're gonna owe. This is what your interest rate's gonna be. This is what you'll owe per month for X amount of years. Like, are you willing to do that? Because you're also gonna want a car. You're gonna want a house. You're gonna want to go on vacations and do all this other shit.
So no college for you. Because that's how it's going to be. Because you're going to have, tens of thousands of dollars in debt.
Or like I said, I'll make the offer to my kids. I mean, fortunately for me, because my wife works at a college, my kids, if we're here and she's still at that job, can go to that school for free. That's part of one of her benefits for
Yeah,
working there.
that's
So
pretty
that's
awesome.
huge.
That's huge.
But
Yeah,
let's say we move or she goes, finds another job, we don't have that option. Again, hey, guys, I'll pay for you to go to community college for the first 2 years. That's on me. I got it. And
yeah.
then I can help you out with the other 2 years, but whatever share you have to pay, it's going to be half,
But you can also afford that. And then how are they gonna pay the other half with
Well, I
a
mean, if you can't
a
afford to,
job with no what kind of job can they have where they can afford to pay
well,
and go to college?
that's the thing. Again, the ceiling is much higher for the college graduate going into like the private sector. Again, you could do, maybe they have a six-figure job that has,
No,
the salary shoots up.
I'm talking about your example. So you said, I mean, again, and not everybody can even do this. Pay for the first 2 years of going to community college for them.
Well, dude, I mean, I don't know if you've looked at tuition at community college. If you can't afford to send, your child to community college for like 2 years, 4 semesters, like I don't know what you're doing.
Okay, I don't know what it is.
I
So
mean, I think I think you could go to OC for a year for like maybe like two to 4 grand.
okay, all right, that's not bad at all. Wow,
No.
really? Shit.
Well, yeah, if you
Um,
think about it, I think the biggest expense in college is room and board. You're not paying that at OC.
that's
You
true.
don't have a meal plan.
Yeah.
You're gonna
So
commute.
so then okay, but then so like you said, the other aspect of it. Well, I guess I mean, all right. So that because that's not so bad, but because again, saying okay, well, what kind of job if you want your kids to pay half to go to another school? What kind of job can they have where they're paying for the other half, going to school, and having a job that grants them to pays them enough to afford to pay for school?
You're saying what job can they have?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it depends. It depends what field they're in. If they're in like some type of engineering program, I mean, you know,
No, no. So I'm like, I was saying, like a job at McDonald's is going to help them pay for school that they're going to pay for it because they're
well,
gonna have to pay. If they're gonna have to, if the students are gonna have to pay for school on their own,
right.
how?
You saying when
Work?
they get out of college?
No, while they're in. Oh, I guess.
Well,
Well, you don't start
you're
paying
right.
until you
They're
graduate.
deferred until because
Okay,
the common thinking is you're not gonna work and make a ton of money while you're in college because you're probably gonna have a
that's yeah.
part time job or something.
Okay,
Yeah, from what I understand, most college loans are deferred until you graduate.
that's true. Yeah. Okay.
And I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure there's
Forgot about
programs where they could be
forgot about that
deferred.
line of thinking.
They could be deferred for 4 years out. I'm sure there's all types of different shit you could do. Like maybe it could be deferred for 8 years. So your first 4 years out of college, you don't have to pay, so you can get some money saved up. But maybe the the deal with that is, hey, it's a higher interest rate.
Hmm.
I don't know.
So so currently, right now, because yeah, my loans has been deferred for like 2 years now. And because of COVID, as it is again. But now because there's lawsuits out there putting a stop to it, because I'm eligible for up to 20 grand in debt relief.
Right. See
But now,
this is the other thing I was going to bring up before. When we're talking debt relief, it's mostly all federal loans because that's what's.
well, no, this is specifically for student loans.
What are you saying? You're getting relief just for loans in general?
No, student loan relief.
Well, what are they cutting you a check?
I don't know. I think it would just go to whoever pays my student loan. Apparently, I don't need to do anything else because I've qualified, but um, there's lawsuits that are in place that are preventing,
Well,
you know.
a lot of student loan relief and programs like that. I know just knowing family members, because a lot of people like you'll you'll apply and get approved for X amount of dollars for a federal loan, right? Then the rest you got to take out private. Anything
Mhm.
that's like forgiven or made is a deal is made. It's mostly the federal loans.
Okay.
The private sector, right? Like think about it, like Chase, right? Like you get a student loan from Chase, like
Trying to
half
see
your
if I could
student loan.
find the email.
Chase isn't gonna fucking say like, "Oh yeah, we'll forgive it." Like, no, you borrowed money from Chase. Like they want their money back. You know what I mean? Like these federal programs, that's where like the tax dollars come in. You know,
Hmm.
Chase isn't collecting tax money. You know, they're giving you money and charging you interest.
Yeah, no, this is from Secretary of Education. Yeah, federal student loan debt relief application.
Well, there you go, federal.
So okay, so reiterate again to me what that means.
Well, that's federal student loans, right?
Okay.
Like, let's say average kids goes to college, they get a they get approved for, they have to pay $40,000 for a year, right?
Hmm.
Maybe in federal loans they get like 10 grand. The other 30 they got to borrow from a you know, private company like a Chase or a Wells Fargo or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah,
private
that's right.
sector isn't. I don't think there probably is programs, but the general like loan relief thing is mostly federal. And again, it makes it sound good. Again, I know this because I have family members who went through this. So you hear it like, oh, that's great. It's like, oh, well, it's federal loan relief. Well, great. Only 25% of my student loan debt is covered by federal loans.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now because I remember you seeing it. You're getting this much in federal and this much in the other state. It's been so long, I don't even remember. But yeah, okay,
Yeah.
now I remember that too. So but still, I have more than 20, so it's not all of it. So, but at
Well,
least
right. Oh,
anything,
hey,
some kind of chunk.
relief is good, but
Yeah.
again, this conversation, this argument, sometimes it gets crazy, and people are like, "Oh yeah, free college," and like, again, like me personally, a guy with no student loan debt, like I don't want to pay for your student loan, like I
Hmm.
just don't, you
Which
know.
makes sense. But see, my concept behind it is like, what's a little bit more to help someone out?
Yeah, but okay, but where do you draw that line? Like, hey man, I got to pay off my pool. Are you gonna help me out? Oh, because that's for recreation and that creates memories and a good time for my family. But you don't care about that, right? But I have to pay for your schooling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where do you draw the line? Like, hey, it's tough to buy Christmas gifts this year. You gonna help me out? We'll raise your tax a little bit so I can afford Christmas. Like, where do you stop with this, right? Because you chose to go to college, just like I chose to put that pool in my backyard, right? Or I chose to put the addition on my house, or I chose to buy a house, right? You didn't choose that. Why the hell should you pay for it? You know?
Yeah.
But
What
I should
about
pay for your school because, oh, school's so important. Oh, well, is it? Because I don't have a college degree and I'm doing okay,
makes sense? It all makes
you
sense.
know?
I do. I
So
get it.
I like that's why
But
again,
now, I mean, what if we are only talking about student loan debt relief? We're drawing the line at student debt
well,
relief.
no,
Student
again,
debt.
for all the reasons I just said, I don't like I don't have student loan debt, right? Because I didn't really incur a lot. But let's say I did incur a lot and then I paid it off, right? And you can understand if someone paid off $200,000 of student loan debt, right? And I heard you kind of mention this before, and then the attitude's like, "Well, I had to pay mine back. Like you're gonna pay your back." But yeah, I fucking get that. Like, where was my handout? You know, and I've heard people say that argument too. Like, "Oh, okay, cool. Am I getting a fucking check cut for me like retroactively?" You know?
See, that part I don't get, because that's like a fairness thing. Well, that's just not fair. I had to pay mine. You
Well,
have to pay your. But
but it's
shit like
not
that
fair.
happens all the time. I mean, that's just change. Like,
Yeah,
okay, we're
yeah,
helping
right.
out.
But see, yeah, that's just not fair. And things change. Yeah, like, but life isn't fair either. Like, so again, you know, it's not fair to be like, oh, well, it happened to me. Like, it should happen to you too. But at the same time, like, we're talking about fairness. Like, hey, you took out the student loan, pay it back. I didn't tell you to. I didn't ask you to. Pay it back. That's it.
Yeah, I see. I wish I had more information, and I was into arguing as much about it as I could be, to kind of have the idea of being like, well, again, it's helping you. You're racking up a lot more than you would have expected,
But dude,
and I don't
but
know.
but listen to what you're saying. You're basing an agreement that you think the college aspect is a little overrated. Like, look at your profession, right?
Oh, absolutely, it's so
So
fucking
so
overrated.
here's something that's overrated, yet you're advocating for like maybe helping people out for this overrated piece of paper, right?
Yeah, well, it's still necessary for some people, doctors and shit like that, and fucking
yeah, for
people
some,
need
right?
to go to
But I
school.
don't think, but doctors aren't having trouble paying back their student loans. That's not what we're talking about, and that's not what the debt relief is for. It's for the fucking guy that goes to school, pays out the ass, and then he can't find a fucking job, and he's waiting tables at Chili's,
Mm-hmm.
scraping by, struggling to pay his student loans. Or
Yeah,
even a person with a normal job, but the entry level is, nothing, they can't really make a dent. But again, like, you chose this career
and that's,
path.
I think, the concept for it is to try to help people get on their feet a little bit better.
Like one profession that traditionally, just from my experience seeing, and again, I'm not trying to insult anyone, and like, I don't begrudge anyone who works for a living, like more power to you, because we need everyone. We need people that wait tables, that work in utilities, police, fire, fucking customers. So everything's needed. So working is just a great thing, an honorable thing, right? But one profession I know that seems pretty expensive to get the degree, but then isn't worth the juice isn't worth the squeeze on the other end as far as making money, is like social workers and what they have to go through and put up with.
Mm-hmm.
Like from my experience, people I know in that field, they don't make a lot of money, but they have to pay back like master's degrees worth of like student loan debt,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just fucking crazy.
So you think for them, it's like, well, that's what you signed up for.
Well, yeah. I mean, dude, if you look, right, money isn't everything, but it's very fucking important. Like anyone who says it's not important is full of shit, because we all like to be comfortable. You want to provide for your family, enjoy yourself. You want to have nice things, right? Like if you don't look into what, like, you're like, oh, I want to be this when I grow up. Yeah. When you're a little kid, be whatever, right? But as you get older, you should understand the concept of, money and how far money goes. If you're not looking at what like the salary is for whatever career you're choosing, I mean, I think that's irresponsible. Now, you may live a simple life. You're like, oh, I just want to do this. I'm dead set on this. And like everything else is secondary. And hey, that's great. Some people live, lean and like don't have extravagant things or want to go. They're just happy doing what they're doing. Hey, more power to you. But again, I think money makes everyone feel a little bit more comfortable when you have enough of it.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, exactly. So again, if you're looking at a career and you're not taking into account the salary, I mean, for lack of a better term, I think you're being kind of dumb.
Well, yeah, yeah, of course. I mean,
So again,
everybody needs to
hey,
know what they're getting
hey,
into
I'm going to
for.
pay back $250,000 of student loan debt to do this career, but this career is only going to pay me 50 grand a year. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe you should look at doing something else.
Yeah, but that's tough too, because what if it's somebody really wants to do? It's a passionate thing. They're
Well,
passionate about
then,
the field. It's their
but
dream
that's
job. It's what they always wanted to
well,
do.
that's fine. But just know you're going to live in a one-bedroom apartment. You're not going on vacations. Again, like these are the decisions you have to make, right?
Yeah.
Like I would
No,
love to
I
own.
get
I
all
would
that.
love
It
to own.
all
I would love to own a yacht, but I know being a police officer, that's never going to happen, and I'm at peace with that. That's fine. Like I'm
see.
never going to own a yacht.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
never going to fly private. Like cool, you know.
see, I get the concept of. See, my biggest beef of it that I didn't like was like, well, I had to, so you have to. Like that just sounds like you're being a shitty person. But you're breaking down a lot of the obvious points where, well, it's a loan that you need to pay back. I'm not
Right.
paying back your loan for you. You're gonna fucking
Right.
pay off my house for me.
Well,
And
right, and
you're
also
right.
too, like money is obviously a very touchy subject. Like money ruins friendships. Like we've all heard the stories of like family members going into business together and it
Oh yeah.
fucking destroyed. Like, so the whole like, well, I had to do it, you have to do it. Like, I could kind of see that because money is a touchy subject, and hey, I had to pay back this $150,000, but you don't have to. Like, what the fuck, I don't know. I can see. I agree with you overall. Like, if we can improve stuff, the whole like, oh, well, I had to do this. You should, shouldn't. You should have to. In some arguments is valid, but this is just, I don't know. And it comes off as just like fucking so entitled. Like, and then and again, I don't like the general
Well,
attitude of it of like,
well,
oh,
that's
well,
yeah.
like
That's a totally
my college education is more important than whatever you got going on.
see. That's yeah. And that's a different aspect of it. That's just like you said, the
Right.
far, far, far left entitled
Yeah.
people who just are being assholes about it. And that's not the case. And that's different. People shouldn't be fucking be expecting anything.
Right.
You should be lucky if you get anything. Yeah. So yeah, so we spent about almost an hour talking about just that. But yeah, like I said, the moral of the story is don't go to college so you don't get any debt in the first place.
There you go.
And be a fucking YouTuber or a video game streamer and
Oh yeah.
make millions of dollars doing that shit. So, you don't
Or
gotta worry about it.
having OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who the fuck needs any kind of education when now that an OnlyFans
Yeah.
exists?
Getting paid fucking 6 figures a month just to show your butthole. You
Yeah,
know?
that's funny because I knew that's exactly what you were gonna say. I watched there was there's some dude who does clips for Barstool of like quick like news briefs, and he said it at one time. He was like, "It is financially irresponsible at this point to not have an OnlyFans."
Oh, dude, they have a entire podcast dedicated to OnlyFans. It's called Only Stands. This guy,
Barstool does, right?
yeah, this guy,
Yeah, yeah.
Glenny Balls, hosts it.
I seen a
He
video clip
brings
of
in
him pop up.
popular like OnlyFans, like I don't
Yeah,
know what to call them, actresses, influencers, whatever the fuck they are.
yeah,
Only fanners.
OnlyFaner. That's
He brings them
yeah,
in and interviews them, and like you know,
bonkers.
attractive girls who are dumber than fucking anything, but they make 6 figures a month. So who's the
Yeah,
dumb one? You know?
exactly right. Who really is the dumb one?
Yeah.
That shit's so fucking crazy to me.
Oh,
What a
it's
time to be
insane.
alive.
And dude, never mind OnlyFans. There's so much like online influencing shit where these people like just don't leave their living room, and they're making
yeah.
like millions of dollars a year. It's fucking insane.
I was so fascinated with that. That's why when I started going and taking classes, it was to be in marketing, and that's why I'm so hooked on Gary V and shit like that because that's his
Yeah.
deal. I was so fascinated with the idea
Well,
of making money.
Gary V uses that as a tool, but that guy like he doesn't just sit home. I mean, this guy's got
Oh
fucking
no,
businesses and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm talking about the legitimate. Like, I have a YouTube channel, and I
no,
parlayed it into a TikTok channel, and now I make $1 million a year.
But that's the deal, like social media and influence marketing.
Yeah,
That being a thing, because his thing is like, you got something going on, promote it on TikTok,
yeah,
so you get the exposure, and then you get because TikTok has what the fuck do they call it? Like dedicated marketing or something like that, where like it knows what you want and it sends you posts based on your interests.
right.
you know so and that's like a new TikTok technology. So that's so fascinating to me about how you can make money off of shit like that because you're getting exposure. And I've said this on every fucking podcast. I've said it multiple times where he talks about how you can start a podcast about the Smurfs and get an Instagram page about the Smurfs and grow and grow and grow, and then fucking who knows where you get somebody pays you to talk about the Smurfs or some shit like that.
Yeah,
And that's so wild to me that you can do that now. And that there's all these people that do that and they make money doing that shit. That's why I fucking have a podcast. That's why I wrote a comic book and I try to promote it everywhere I can by having fucking 5 different Instagram pages and a Twitter where I'm just shilling my shit constantly because I need people to see it so they go buy it and then I make money. That's what
yeah.
everything is.
But also too, I think a lot of that has to do with it's like hitting the lottery. A lot of it's luck. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think if you
Because
work,
if it was yeah, right. Like if you work, but like dude, there's some like Jet like I listen to a couple like Jets podcasts.
yeah.
And like some of these guys are good, but like I've been listening to them for like 3 years now, and like their following's not like growing as much as I'm sure they'd like, and
Mhm.
but again, I think they I'm sure they have jobs and they're just doing it for fun, and if it turns into something cool. But
Yeah.
I just feel like, especially with young kids, the whole they're called influencers for a while because they influence people. Like, I think that's a slippery slope for like a 9-year-old to be like, oh yeah, when I grow up, I want to be a YouTuber.
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
the thing.
well, that's cool, but you got to do something else, man. And if you hit that YouTube lottery, like in your spare time, that's great. But like, don't put all your eggs in that basket because
No.
like when you're fucking living, in my basement when you're 30, like that's not gonna be cool either.
Yeah, that's exactly the case. Kids are assuming because some people make it look so fucking easy.
Oh, well, of
But
course, and that's what's
kids,
great. And like you see some stuff, people just hit the right niche, and I don't know if like they just hit this fucking social media lottery. Like maybe their content was just getting pushed out because obviously I know about the algorithms and shit, and certain people post stories and it only gets to 30 people and they have like 4,000 people following them, which doesn't
yeah,
make sense. So
yep,
some guys I think just hit the lottery because there's some things you see, you're like, that's so fucking basic. I see other people do it, but this guy's bigger than this other person. It's
yeah,
just
yep.
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Then the more you see it, the more you watch it, the more it comes up, the more fucking followers you get, and then
Yeah.
the more money people pay you for everything.
Oh yeah.
You know, you get them to pay you to give you anything you want. You'll show their shit on your page. Like that's why the fucking Kardashians are so fucking loaded because they don't pay for a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because anytime they go to a restaurant, they're serving them for free, so that way they take a picture of it and post it on their Instagram page for 4 million people
Exactly.
to
Or
see.
they'll attract the
Clothes,
people hear that they're there, and then it's
yeah,
attracting more business. Yeah.
exactly. And that's what an influencer actually is. Because, like you said, they're influencing people to do things, to buy things. And I just, like I said, I find that just so fascinating of a concept of marketing now. Like, because I was watching the thing Gary Vee was saying today about TV ads. He goes, I see people spending money on TV ads. That's just insane to me. Why would you spend money on a commercial? Because one, who even sees a commercial anymore? Because people are streaming or this and that.
That's not
Well, but
accurate.
also too, if you're watching a show and a commercial comes on, what do? Are you
Well,
sitting and watch? Are you
yeah.
sitting and watching commercials,
Well,
or
no.
are you grabbing your phone and scrolling on your
Yes.
phone?
But how many fucking commercial songs do you fucking whistle to yourself?
Yeah, jingles and shit like that.
Well,
That's
there you go.
yeah,
I mean, that's
but
fucking
that's not
marketing right there.
every commercial. That is yeah, that's marketing, but
Yeah.
that too. But again, how many times? I mean, I can't even. I'm not even watching a show. I'm on my phone.
Oh
Let
no, I
alone fucking
agree.
waiting
But
for
you
commercials.
you hear cues in the background. You pick up on stuff.
Yeah,
Dude, look, man, these people are very fucking smart and they make a lot of money. No one's pumping out a commercial and just they're doing advanced marketing too. I get what Gary Vee's saying because that works for him, but you know what? Doing a commercial, McDonald's doing a commercial, I'm sure they have fucking people at the top of their marketing chain that know it does some good. They're not just
yeah.
wasting money on fucking commercials.
Pat said you have to have money to make money, big money, and well, where's that money coming from? You can start small, you know. I'll always use this motherfucker as an example because I love all of his shit. But like he talks about all the time, he used to stock shelves at his dad's liquor store, and he took some of that money, and I don't know how, or he invested in Twitter and Facebook,
Yeah,
and then he made a
but
shitload of money doing that,
yeah, but he
and then
did
he,
that again. That guy, and I don't begrudge him at all. Hey, he's fucking smart guy. He's crushing it. But he hit the fucking lottery too, man.
but then he
You
turned
know?
it into an advertising agency.
Well, right. But again, there you go. What your I forget who was the gentleman that just said that?
Pat.
Yeah, Pat. What Pat just said. Yeah, he then turned it into yeah. Again, he had money to make money.
Yeah,
You're not
but
opening up an agency with the fucking money you saved up from the liquor store or whatever stock and shelves.
yeah, there was more to it for sure, obviously. But I
Well,
mean,
there you
again, you
go.
you gradually get there. The money's got to come from
Well,
somewhere.
right,
I'm just
but
saying.
again, Gary Vee is one of the guys that hit the lottery. Now, hey, he pushed his way in, but that I don't know. I just think the social media thing is such a crapshoot.
Yeah, but I think also too, the more you work at it, the more it comes up. Because if you're pumping out content all the fucking time, the more likely people are to see it. If it's good content, people will share it, and that's just how it goes. Like so with the Pop Quiz Apparel Instagram page, I got like 300 followers in 2 weeks because I was posting twice a day. I was scrolling through people's comments, friending people, commenting on posts, liking stuff. It was like a full-time job being active on Instagram. And
Yeah,
that's how I grew my following. And that's again, so the work you put into it is the work you're going to get out of it. And that along with that comes sales because you just need to increase your exposure. The more you increase your exposure is by producing content and being active. And there you go. Then that leads to sales and your shit blowing up big. If you have something that's worth it.
yeah. Well, right. I mean, that goes with like any marketing.
Yeah. Because everything is the market doesn't give a shit if you're rich, if you're poor, if anything. If you've got a good product and people see it and they want it, that's it. The market
Yeah.
doesn't care if you're
Well,
fucking
and
rich,
sometimes
poor,
you need a
black,
little
white,
luck.
anything.
Like one thing that's kind of like becoming a hot thing right now. So this guy Brian Robinson, he's a running back for the Washington Commanders. he got interviewed post game, and he was wearing this oversized fucking hat.
The hat, I saw that.
Yeah, and then he wore it, it drew attention, and it started going. But until that company should be fucking blowing this guy.
Yeah. Well, he said it's a friend of his, right?
I don't know, I forget what he said, but
The
yeah, it's
quote
called
was like,
something noggin, like big noggin hats or some
yeah,
shit.
the quote I saw was something like, "My friend has this big hat company, so if you want a
Yeah.
big hat, hit him up."
But then it
It has this
blew up,
big,
man.
stupid fucking hat.
Yeah, but think, like, I don't know how well they were doing beforehand, but now
Yeah.
forget it. They're
Yep.
fucking going nuts. Again, a little bit of luck, right? This guy's lucky his friend happens to be an NFL player, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I don't have any NFL fucking playing fans. Not that I
See,
have anything to sell, but, you know.
ironically enough, though, because that takes a well, I mean, again, NFL, it's different because then that was also a niche product. Because I have my Harley Quinn Batgirl pin, right? That's on the Pop Quiz Apparel Etsy page. It's a face and it's half Harley Quinn, half Batgirl. Tara Strong, who is a very popular voice actress, she does the voice of Harley Quinn. Outside of the original girl who did the voice of Harley Quinn in the original Batman the Animated Series, she does the voice of Harley, and also Kaylee Cuoco from Big Bang Theory, who does it for the
Yep.
HBO show. Um, this woman Tara Strong does the voice. She did it for all the Arkham games. She does it for any other cartoons. She also did the voice of Batgirl in the Killing Joke cartoon. So she does the voice of both of those characters in multiple places. She found our pin and bought it on Etsy. And she wears it on her jacket. When she goes to conventions and does signings, she has a jacket that's covered in pins, and our pin is right on there with her. She did a TikTok video where she went through all the pins and she talked about, oh, here's this pin, that pin. She didn't say where they were from, but like I commented on the page, said, hey, thanks for this pin, or thanks for showing off our pin, the shout out, blah, blah, blah. I did not see any increase whatsoever in sales of that pin.
Wow, this story did not go the way I thought it was gonna go.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So yeah, so he's lucky that his buddy has this, but see what's weird is that I think that product, that giant fucking hat, is dumb as hell.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
maybe pins are a little too niche of a market, but the way the fucking hat business blew up, who's gonna wear those fucking things?
No, I agree. I mean, people will wear them to games, and then
I
the rest
guess,
of the
yeah.
time they'll like sit in your basement as a piece to show off. Hey, dude, I immediately went on their website and looked for like a Jets one. I think it would be cool just to have. Like, I would never fucking wear it, but again,
Well, I guess there you go. It's a
yeah.
big thing you can show off because these pins, and I've posted about it before. Like I have the picture, the video of it on the Pop Quiz Apparel Instagram page, and it's her going through it and talking about the pin. And it was so cool to see that because like I was familiar with her, I knew who she was, and then like I remember when I saw the order come in, and I was like, holy shit, that's so cool that I know her. And then, she ordered it, and it was really her. But again, it didn't lead to anything.
Yeah.
And so Pat brings up something that I brought up. So the cost to patent something costs money or patent pending, which needs to take into consideration. So I will just use pins as an example. So I do. Hold on. I wish I had a shitload of them to show off. But. I use these two as an example. So if you can see it, here is the Harley Quinn Batgirl pin. And then I've got this other one, which is fucking awesome. These were designed by Pat, Burt Ramos, did the artwork for these pins, and we turned them into pins. So there's the Hulk thing pin. So Marvel and DC. That being said, when it comes to pins, well, actually, one thing that's being said. So these are also done from original artwork. They're not stolen. The characters are Marvel and DC characters, but the artwork is completely original that Burt drew of these characters. So that's something that's in our favor. However, I don't know what it is with lapel pins, but there's so many of them. Like, I don't know, maybe they just can't keep track of them all to send out all the cease and desists of people paying, or people not paying for them, or people, stopping people from selling them. because like I've seen like Bart Simpson, Venomized Bart Simpson, and all mix and match pins. Like there's so many lapel pins out there. It's like there's too many to that you have to worry about patent pending. Now I feel like this dude who has his big hat company, I mean, if he's selling shit with NFL teams logos on it, he's gonna need permission from the NFL and those
Yeah.
teams. So again, maybe because his buddy is a fucking NFL player, it was a little easier for him to come by.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah. I think with like Marvel and DC shit, I think for Marvel it's like $25,000 to get a license to sell shit with their characters on it. But I don't know. It seems like lapel pins are, I don't know, they fall out of the realm because 100 million people make lapel pins. Maybe again because it's original artwork. So it's not something that becomes an issue. I do not know. All right. Did you take any other notes like I asked you to?
No. I like to wing it, dude.
Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, hey, look, we just filled up an hour and 10 minutes of
We did.
nonstop.
Yeah, with my note of talking about student loan relief. So, I mean, we could talk a little bit about your trip to Minnesota, I guess.
Yeah, so obviously I'm a big Jet fan. My buddy I have season tickets with, him and his dad booked the trip to Minnesota because the Jets played, the Vikings this past weekend. He asked me to join them. This was months back. So I looked into flights. It was a pretty cheap flight, and just one night of hotel. We flew in on a Saturday morning. We left Sunday night. But when we got there at like 9:30. Now there's Central Time, so we like gained an hour going out there.
Mhm.
Got there like 9:30 in the morning, and we went to a Minnesota Wild, hockey game at 1.
Yeah, I saw you did everything. You went to
So
the
my buddy
basketball
looked into
game.
tickets, and dude, you're in the Midwest, like it's just not New York, man. Like I was looking at tickets to take my sons to a Knicks game. I was gonna give them Christmas tickets,
Yeah.
tickets for Christmas. And dude, the fucking January 2nd, it's a Monday. They're off from school. It's a 3 p.m. game. Be perfect, right? It's like fucking the cheapest ticket I could find is $200.
Yeah.
Dude, for all 3 games I went to in Minnesota, the hockey game, the basketball game, and the football game, I think I paid $215 total.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And dude, and when we got there too, like all the food and shit's cheaper too. It's not, like a beer was like $9 at the Timberwolves game.
Yeah.
In New York, that beer is fucking $16.
Yeah, right. I know.
You know?
Yep.
So yeah, it was just it was doable.
It's
for the
exactly.
price.
Yep, exactly.
So 1 p.m. we went to a hockey game. Then we went to then we had time to kill because at 7 p.m. we went to Minnesota Timberwolves, their NBA team. So in between that, we went to a steakhouse. Then we went to the Timberwolves game. Then went back to the hotel, went to sleep, and then the next day at noon Central Time, it was Jets Vikings.
Tailgating and partying.
Well, we didn't tailgate because I don't know what I didn't even see a tailgate when I was there. I saw something like across the street from the entrance we went in, but Minneapolis is like a city, so
Yeah.
I didn't see like a traditional parking lot. Like when you go to the Meadowlands, you go to MetLife
Oh,
Stadium.
really?
It's
Okay.
just, the Meadowlands is basically out in the swamps of Jersey. Like
Yep.
it's not really built up. Like there's a mall, there's like a fucking another arena, but it's
Yeah,
mostly
but it's
just
a
like
huge
it's like
open
a
land.
sports complex. US Bank Stadium, where the Vikings play, is like dropped in the middle of Minneapolis, like a major city.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the tailgate scene is as big as like it is at MetLife, but we didn't do that. We just, we grabbed something to eat and then we walked in, got in like an hour before kickoff, and
I saw that. How packed were the stands? Because all the pictures you put up,
well,
maybe it was too early. But...
Well, yeah, all those everything I took was like pregame because once the game started, I was just focused on the game. But yeah, that was all pregame. But dude, that place was fucking sold out. And it was loud.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I mean, that's a very passionate fan base.
Yeah. Big ass stadium.
And I say that about all. I'm like jealous or envious of all these other cities because you don't get that in New York, man. Like in New York, it's such a melting pot, right? Like you got fucking just growing up. Like think of friends you got. Like who's a Cowboys fan? Who's a Steelers fan?
Oh, yeah.
who's a Vikings fan. And then even if you got New York fans, right? Well, there's two teams. You got Jets, Giants, you got Mets, Yankees, whatever. But when
Yeah.
you go to like Pittsburgh, like everyone's a fucking Steeler fan.
Yeah.
Everyone's a Pirates fan. You go to Baltimore, everyone's a Ravens fan. You go to Minnesota, everyone there is a Timberwolves fan, a fucking Vikings fan, a Twins fan, and that's it. And it's
I know
all,
that's true, right?
and it's really cool because the whole city gets behind them. Like, dude, there's banners, there's like Vikings banners spread throughout the city. Dude, you don't see any Jets or Giants shit in New York City. You know, it's just because like who's from Chicago, who's just in town to go to school and like starting up their job, and they're eventually gonna fucking leave. You know, who's from Dallas, who's from here, who's from other countries that don't even give a fuck. You know, like
I know where, like you said, the fucking Jersey on the other hand is people from everywhere.
Right. But you
Yeah.
go out to Minnesota, dude, every motherfucker out there is a Vikings fan. They get behind the team. The atmosphere's sick. You know.
Hostile crowd. You wear a Jets jersey?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, two people I think said something, but they said it as they walk away because
Yeah, you're also like fucking 6'5".
that's right. They don't want that smoke, you know. So, yeah, so people will say stuff as they walk by. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And one lady was like, "Oh, I'm sorry you had to hear that." I'm like, "Man, I'm from New York."
Yeah. Thanks, lady. But
yeah, that was fucking nothing.
That was nice of her, though, to say that.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, and that's the thing. For the most part, people were awesome. You know?
Yeah. See, you want like some friendly razzic, not some drunken
dude,
asshole.
Yeah. Oh, I had pleasant conversations with 99.9% of the people I came in contact
that's cool.
with. You know, yeah, like one or two people said something in passing. You know,
yeah.
So
you know what's funny? I mean, because I remember this when I went out to Palm Springs with you. People are fascinated by people from New York and New Jersey.
Oh, big time.
I mean, yeah, and you know this from being in the service.
Oh,
it's like they're so like the way we talk and everything. Like down in Florida,
dude,
same deal.
Well, you know what it is, man. It's like a lot of movies are based around New Yorkers. You know,
Yeah.
Like look, The Sopranos, one of
It's
the
like
most
Fantasyland.
is
Oh my
arguably the
God.
like most popular TV show ever. Like, so
Dude.
people, you walk in somewhere and you say coffee, they're like, oh shit, that's like The Sopranos, you know? Like you sound like, say, dude, I go out to visit like my friends out in California, and they're they're like, say forget about it, like say it, And it's not even like we have like the thickest accents. You can find more, but if you're not, but we're also used to it too.
Yep.
Because I've gone plenty of places. The minute I talk, like, I know where you're from.
Yeah, but dude, when I did, and I probably mentioned this before, when I did a podcast with a dude who lives in Scotland, he's a huge Sopranos fan.
Right.
He's in fucking Scotland, huge Sopranos fan, and he's like, I can hear it in your voice, because I was worried if I'd be able to understand him with his fucking, with his Scottish accent. And he was like, yeah, I worried the same thing about you. And I was like, the way I talk and the way I say shit, but he's like, it just sounds like Sopranos. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I know, that's so funny.
But what's funny is like I could tell the people in Minnesota had that fucking wild Minnesota fucking.
Oh yeah.
Like, I can't even replicate it, but
I know I want to say it, but I can't. Like nothing comes to mind. Like is it like everything's like fa? That's more Boston, I guess.
Yeah, but if you saw the movie Fargo, like that's how people were talking.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't you know? Don't you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like my one buddy in the Marines, like he would always he'd call his mom. We'd like make fun. He'd be like, "Hey, Ma, it's Joe." And it's just like I say the same shit. I call my mom Ma, but it just comes out different.
They say, it's different kind of Ma. That's funny.
But every Uber, because my friend and his father, they're from Westchester. So their accent's probably even thicker than mine, So every Uber we got into, they're like, "Oh, we know you're from."
Yeah. So it was a good time. I mean, obviously, it sounds like it.
The Jets lost, but they played a good game. But dude, the experience was
5.
awesome. Yeah, they were down 20-3, and they came back, and they had chances to win it. I mean, they really should have won it. They did, in the red zone, so 20 yards and in to the goal line there, they were 1 for 6 on touchdown chances. They kicked 5 field goals. If you keep kicking field goals, eventually you're gonna lose. You got to score some touchdowns. But yeah, the experience was awesome. That stadium is the best stadium I've ever been in. It's absolutely insane. It's indoors, thank God, because it was like 5 degrees.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was very cool. I I didn't know what to think of Minneapolis as a city, but I was impressed. I thought it was a cool city.
Cool.
So, yeah,
A lot of
people were
awesome
good.
dudes from Minneapolis. Fucking Mr. Perfect, Brock Lesnar,
Yeah, Prince.
Prince. Yep.
Oh, dude, every fucking
Prince is
sporting event
awesome.
was playing Prince music. It's funny.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Prince is
no, dude,
Prince is
and
awesome.
again, that's what's cool, man. Like everyone gets behind like the people who are from there. You know, it's just like when you were there, it was just like I'm in fucking Minnesota. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Like the music, this, that, you
Yeah, I
know.
feel like New York has become so divided.
Ah, dude. Yeah, well, it's so diverse, you know. I mean, which makes it cool in its own right and makes it, New
Yeah.
York, but you know,
I remember because what comes to mind is Spider-Man and the movie, which was after the first one, after 9/11. There was the scene of like Green Goblin is attacking Spider-Man, and all the people on the bridge start throwing shit at Green Goblin, and I'm like,
yeah.
"You mess with Spidey, you mess with New York,"
Yeah.
and like like it makes me think like everybody coming together and shit like that, and like yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I miss it. And I also too like during when there was the blackout in Manhattan, which
Yeah.
was only what a couple months, maybe a year after 9/11. And everybody was still super scared about what could happen, and like there could have been
Yeah.
fucking riots, and it could have been nuts. And I feel like if that happened now,
There would be.
it would be like that.
Yeah.
Everybody was still kind of scared, like, is this some kind of terrorist attack? Because dude, I walked right through Times Square with
Yeah.
no lights on. It was
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Do
And
you remember, have you seen these videos have been surfacing lately? It kind of just goes to what you're saying about like if it happened now, it definitely would be a riot. You see these fucking videos of people like going into Apple stores in like broad daylight with masks on, just stealing everything in sight.
no.
Oh, dude, I just saw one earlier today. And like and it's just not just the Apple store, but like people just openly robbing stores
I saw
and
one
like
video.
loss prevention or which is like security for retail stores or like
uh,
even just regular employees. You can hear managers like, just let them go, just let them do their thing. Because obviously they're not going to step in and get like potentially stabbed or beat up or something.
yeah.
But it's fucking crazy, dude. Like the brazenness of it,
I saw
like
one
just
video
broad daylight. Fuck it.
just yesterday of a dude. He walks into a convenience store. He's got a mask on and he just fucking starts just grabbing like as many cigarettes as he
Yeah,
can.
it's insane.
And like he panics. He gets like one. I think the caption was like all that for one vape
Yeah,
because like he fumbles around. He just tried to grab something and he just leave and just fucking runs out with it.
but
Like
still,
what?
dude,
Why?
the balls
Yeah,
on something, But like, dude, it's just the way the law's going. Like, no one gives a shit anymore.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. It is. It's a fucking shame. It's chaos.
Yeah. But that's crazy, man. That's so ballsy. Like growing up, that would never happen. Like you had to be like slick to try to steal something. You wouldn't just do it like broad
Oh
daylight, like
yeah,
right in
because
front of someone.
now people are just straight up like, what the fuck are you gonna do about it?
Well, right. And they know like they're not going to jail. They're gonna get
Yeah.
an appearance ticket. And dude, like Walmart, we deal with Walmart all the time. They won't even prosecute unless it's like over $25.
Well, who's stealing something less than $25 from
Well,
Walmart?
dude, there's tons of stuff, like a pack of T-shirts or fucking food or a drink or whatever.
So if it's not over $25, Walmart's like, just
They're
fuck it.
like, "Nah, fuck it, it's not worth it." Like, if you catch the guy, they'll, like, trespass you, which basically means you sign, something that says you won't enter that specific Walmart store anymore, or you could be
Yeah,
arrested for trespass, but, dude, no one gives a fuck about that.
yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, it is, it's wild.
Yep. All right, I don't have any geek business, so
Oh, before we came on the air, I don't know if you saw it, but, Kirstie Alley died.
I just saw on Facebook
Yeah,
somebody had a picture of her and fucking Ted Danson.
yeah,
Oh, there it is. Yep. Kirstie Alley dead at 71 after private battle with cancer. Oh, fuck,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I guess, on her Instagram or Twitter or whatever, I guess her children posted something announcing it, and I
Yeah.
guess she just recently got diagnosed. I guess it
Oh,
was just a
shit.
very aggressive cancer.
I guess so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all over my fucking feed now that I look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kirstie Alley dead. Kirstie Alley dead. Star of Cheers. Drop dead gorgeous. Dies at 71. 71.
I know, when I saw that, I
She,
was like, "Holy shit."
yeah, she had a lot of ups and downs.
Well, but, like, when I think of her, I think of, like, Look Who's Talking. Like,
Me,
that's
me too.
how I picture her, and,
Yep.
like, to think that lady's now 71, it's like, "Holy shit."
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that comes to mind too. I mean, I did rewatch Cheers, so I think of her in Cheers a lot too.
Yeah.
Definitely, Look Who's Talking was definitely the first introduction to
Have
her.
you have you seen that meme going around with Cheers? It's like all the guys huddled around the bar, and it like has their age at the time plastered on them.
No,
Oh, dude, it's insane. Like maybe when it first started, because how long was Cheers on for? Probably like a good 15 years, right?
Cheers went 11 seasons.
Oh, okay, 11. But even still, like there was one point, you'll if you Google the picture, I'm sure you'll find it. It has like their ages like on their forehead or above their head.
Yeah,
Dude, they're all like 32,
right.
35,
And you're like, there's no
37.
fucking way.
And you look at them. And dude, it's funny as we get older, right? Because like my idea of a 50-year-old when I was
Is
fucking
it
10,
is it this one?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was something similar. The one I saw, they were all huddled around the bar, but same shit. Look at those ages, dude. Look at them.
yeah,
They look so much older than that, and I think it's just like
yeah. Kirstie Alley was 36. Kirstie Alley,
right,
I feel like she looked a little younger. George Wendt being 34 is bonkers because
exactly.
George Wendt is at least 55
But
on
it's
fucking
but
Cheers.
it's his haircut,
Yep.
the style of clothing, any type of facial hair, like it's all,
Yeah,
you know.
George Wendt was Norm. Fucking yeah, Kelsey Grammer 27. You are not telling me Kelsey Grammer was younger than 40 on
No, I
Cheers.
know, except but that's I
27
think
went
it's just
fucking
like that.
ass.
I think it's the hairstyles, the way people carried themselves back then. Again,
That's
like,
so
dude,
crazy.
when like it was normal for our parents, like age people, to have like a house and like 3 kids at like 22.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like we don't do that shit.
I had my first kid at what, 31? My parents
Yeah.
had me when they were 25.
Exactly, like, it was ju and there's they probably had friends who were 22 with 2 or 3 kids and
Yeah.
a house and all this other shit. Now people are living in their fucking parents' basement till they're 35, they're not getting married till 40, it's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. But also
If
too,
they
I
even
feel
get
like
married.
I don't know if it's, like, style of clothes we wear or whatever, but I feel like we're aging, like, more gracefully than past generations. Like, The
Yeah.
Rock is 50. Like, dude, 50-year-olds didn't fucking look like that when we were
Yeah.
10. It
Did
just didn't
you
happen.
did you know that Billy Gunn is older than The Undertaker?
Oh, no.
Have
That
you
is
seen
weird.
Billy Gunn?
Yeah, yeah.
He's fucking shredded.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile,
But that's what's
The Undertaker has trouble walking.
well, yeah. I
I mean,
mean, he's
that's also a wrestling thing anyway. But still,
yeah.
but I mean, it's the way they like Billy Gunn doesn't look like he's older than The Undertaker.
No, not at all.
And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I wonder if like people back then thought the same thing about the generation before them.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, like if when my dad turned 40, he was like, "I still look good," and I don't, somebody when they were 40, they looked much older than when I do at 40. Like I can't believe I'm
You
fucking
know,
38.
this is weird. This is like some deep shit right here, right? Like I think about this, like when I was, I don't know, 5, I remember driving around in my dad's truck. So we're talking like 1989, 1990-ish. And I remember driving around with him and he's listening to oldies, like songs in like the mid 60s, late 60s, right? And
Uh-huh.
at the time, that shit's only 20 years old, right?
Yeah,
Dude, if you listen to Notorious B.I.G., you're listening to fucking music that's like 25, almost 30 years old. But
bonkers.
there's a but like kids would listen to that and there's like it can relate. You know what I mean? Like obviously rap and hip hop does sound different now, but some of it still sounds similar. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
like the, what I'm getting at is like the difference between the music we grew up listening to what is now is completely different to what like our parents grew up listening to what you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
it's almost like this is from a different fucking world,
yeah,
Like
yeah. Like it's not, you can't even classify it as oldies. It's like
right,
70 because it's like oldies. Because now, like you said, the oldies to us was the music from the 70s.
right.
Now, the kids, it's oldies is the music from the
But I don't
90s.
even think they call it oldies because again,
But
that's
that's what
like
I'm
a
saying.
old fucking
Yeah,
type
well,
of
they call
term,
it classic rock and shit like that.
Right. But
But
even
like,
if you
yeah,
listen to rock, like new rock that comes out now sounds similar to what it did in fucking 2005 or 2000.
yeah. But every like decade almost had its different sound.
Yeah, true. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like what we grew up listening to is way more similar to what's going on now, 20 years later, than like if you listen to a rock song from
Yeah.
1965
Yep.
compared to like 1995, it's like night and day.
That's I see what you're
Now I
saying.
don't feel like it's
That makes
night and
sense.
day. Like, yeah, it's different, but and again, like, I feel like
Yep.
we're peaking with certain shit too, like technology. Like, dude, PS4 and PS5 or even PS3 and PS5, it's not like that drastic compared to like Nintendo to fucking PS1, you know?
Oh yeah.
And like same with the iPhones. Like, dude, I got the iPhone 14. The fucking iPhone 7 was very comparable, and that was
Yeah.
fucking 10 years ago, you know?
Exactly. I went from a 7 to a 12,
Right.
and that was
But the
like a year
difference
ago.
between the fucking Nextel and the fucking iPhone, which was only like 5 years apart, was like fucking holy shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Look at I know. I remember talking with a dude. I was like, "What do you need all that shit for?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Bro, you don't, but if you have it, you'll use it." And
Oh,
then I
and
remember
dude,
I got a Droid X. I was like, "Look at
now
all
it's
the
like
fucking shit."
how do you live without it?
Yep, exactly. I can do everything on my phone. I never I need to like get it under control because I never put my phone down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because
dude, I think we're all like that. Like I'm bad with it, you know.
yeah,
I think everyone is, you know,
yeah.
whether you're just looking for entertainment or you're trying to grow a business, like whatever. I mean, dude, you get your
That's
email,
exactly
you
it.
get your weather, you get fucking everything on there. Like, yeah, I feel like I have some type of like attention deficit disorder that I've developed because of this thing. Because like, dude, I can't even sit down and like enjoy a show. Like,
Absolutely.
I try to get into new shows all the time. People are like, oh, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this. Dude, I have like a fucking awful time because I'm just constantly, oh, what's going on? Let me refresh Twitter. Let me refresh
Yep.
Instagram. Like,
And
why?
it's like it's almost relaxing to leave my phone there and try to watch something, but
Yeah.
then I can't do it for too long.
No,
Then
I
I'm like,
agree.
"Ah, this is."
Now,
Then I
if
gotta go
my
look at my
mind
phone and see
is
if I'm missing
complete
something.
if my mind is completely occupied with something I'm really into, like that's what was awesome about Mets Fantasy Camp. Dude, I wasn't on my phone at all.
Yeah.
Like, I would go back to the hotel and, dude, I'd have because I got so many notifications with, like, sports, and I'm in, like, group chats where guys are just talking nonsense. Dude, there was nights I'd go back to my hotel. I'd have, like, 30 emails, like, fucking 50 notifications, 86 missed, like, unread text messages, and it was just, like, so much, and I was having such a good time, I just, like, cleared it. I was like, "Ah,
Yeah.
whatever. If it's super important, whoever it was will fucking get back to me," you know? So it
Yeah.
was actually nice to, like, unplug, but again, the minute that ended, like, boom, right back on the phone.
Yep, exactly. That's
Yeah.
yeah. I know. I try to get it under control a little bit, but it's like there's just always something happening. You
Yeah.
know, it never gets old.
See, the one good thing I could say about, like, our generation, at least, because I noticed it, like, in my line of work, like, sometimes dealing with, like, teenagers or even, like, young 20-year-olds that come in with, like, complaints and stuff. They can't talk the same way we can because, like, they grew up, like, texting. Like, they'll be, like, quiet, shy, like, not look in the eye, like, type of
Yeah.
shit, like and it's almost like, again, like, picking up girls, like, these guys go on Bumble or fucking, whatever the fuck, you know,
I
the
don't
other
know.
things are, whatever
Whatever the
these dating apps are, like, when we grew up, it's like you wanna fucking ask a girl out, you had to fucking go up to her and ask.
yeah, yeah, to
So
grow
what
a
I'm getting
pair.
at is, like, we at least we have the base, we have the foundation of, like, I could get with you and, like, we could leave our phones in the kitchen, and we could go sit at the table and fucking talk for 2 hours
Yeah.
while we're having a beer or whatever. Like, I feel like kids just they don't have that foundation, you
Yeah,
know?
like the thing they have in common is their phone.
Yeah, we had to grow up fucking talking to each other, you
Yeah.
know? Again,
I
like
know.
kids yeah, we would play outside all day, and, like, kids don't
Yeah,
fucking do that now.
I know. And it's I mean again, but that's the thing too. It's not even like that's bad that they don't play outside that much. It's just different. That's how it is now.
Yeah.
You know, because you could argue that yeah, kids are more, they're not as social, but maybe they are. They're talking with people online. Sure, they're not talking to them face to face and getting outside, but they're talking to people. They're interacting with people all day long. So they are being social, just in a different way.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just saying, I think we, not to sound fucking biased or like, oh, we're better, but we have like both aspects. Because again,
Yeah,
we're both like on our phone like crazy, and we can do that, but we can also fucking go old school and put the phones down and communicate and
and talk like
talk
this.
to people,
Yeah, yeah. It's
as we talk on a fucking computer.
yeah. I know. That's yeah.
Uh,
That's why I saw somebody tweet it out about like what does the world need less of, and somebody tweeted back social media. Like okay, as you're tweeting, we need less
well,
social
right, yeah.
media.
But hey,
Maybe just get
I
off Twitter.
I agree with that, but also disagree with it at the same time. Because I think when it's used properly, it's a tremendous tool. It's fucking
Absolutely.
awesome, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's great, but, like, there's a lot of fucking ugliness in it.
The internet is our greatest and worst invention.
Oh, hands down. Because, again, it gives everyone a platform, which is cool, but also, like, not cool. Like,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's great because it gives everybody a platform, but also not everyone should have a platform.
Oh,
So it's bad.
100%. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap up with some watching business. So my kids have you ever heard of zombies?
Yeah, oh, yeah. My
Your
kids
kid
went through a big kick with that.
did they? My
'Cause
kids
what? There's
yep.
Zombies 3 now, right?
Yeah, yep.
That one came out, I think, last year.
I think so, yeah.
Zombies 1 and 2, I've seen more times than
Dude,
I
there's something about the third one the kids aren't into.
now, I don't know if my kids just left that stage, but yes, they
Okay.
definitely did not watch Zombies 3 a lot, but Zombies 1 and 2, oh my god, dude.
2 hooked on. Bro,
Oh,
they'll tell Alexa to fucking play Zombies 2
yeah,
music, and they will dance their asses off around the kitchen to the
yeah.
songs.
See, I can't think of songs off my head, but if you started playing one right now, I could finish it.
Some of them ain't bad. Some of them grew on me
Yeah,
big time.
yeah.
There's even I think the third one even has a fucking hot one.
When the one kid, the football player, he goes and meets, like, his girlfriend's dad, and
Yeah.
he was a fucking football player too, and they have their stupid little, like, chant and handiwork,
Yeah.
you know, all the corniness.
That's Zed. That's Zed the
Zed,
zombie.
right, of course, I know
Yeah,
Zed.
so, like, my kids this was right around Halloween time. There's a, cartoon called Big City Greens on Disney Plus, and my kids watched it a lot, and they watched it on their tablets, and there's Zombie-thon, Big City Greens Zombie-thon, where they just kinda recap the zombie movies in a cartoon form.
Right,
So my kids didn't even know about zombies. They didn't even know there was a zombie movie. They just know it from this cartoon. And then my son, one of his friends in school, told him about the zombie movie. And then I was like, "Oh, you guys want to watch the zombie movie that Colin told you about?" "Yeah, sure, okay." And I put it on, bro. Addicted. Oh,
yeah,
Zombies 2, addicted. They seem like they're kind of just getting out of it now. So we had a solid 2 months of zombie addiction,
yeah,
like nonstop zombies on the TV, zombies playing on Alexa, zombies all the time, and
yeah,
they were so hooked on it. The concept of it blows my fucking mind. Like, and I posted about this. Like, I remember when Dawn of the Dead came out, and me and Alan and Mako, we rented Dawn of the Dead and we were watching it, and bro, it was horrifying. The whole concept of zombies and everything was just so scary and just creepy and taboo, and it really stuck with you because it's just so fucked up and twisted.
yeah,
And then now here we are, we've evolved to the point where zombies are playing football and they're trying out for the cheerleading team in their bright pink and bright green uniforms, and they're stylish and they're good looking and handsome zombies,
yeah.
and holy fuck, it's so crazy what it's turned into.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a wild.
I almost can't wrap my head around it. But yeah, it's funny that you said that your kids are like that too, because I
Oh,
don't know,
yeah, dude.
man.
My kids were probably into it for, like, a good year. But
Yeah.
it was funny, they weren't into, like, the whole zombie thing, it was just those movies, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, they don't give a shit
But
about
but
zombies.
it did, one year Vincent was he was a zombie football player, and it was, like, based off of that,
Oh, okay, yeah.
you know? So that was just
Yeah.
last year. So, yeah, they just got out of that.
Donovan wanted to be Zed the zombie for Halloween, but it was too
Yeah.
short notice kinda
So
to
basically, he just wore his, pee wee or youth football
yeah.
uniform, and we painted his face like a zombie.
Yep. Yeah, oh yeah, and we were upstairs, me and my wife were upstairs, and then downstairs Alexa starts going, and it's fucking zombies sound this was like a day or 2 ago,
Yeah,
and it's a zombie soundtrack that they're playing, and they're dancing up a storm.
yeah,
But it's wild too because it is a really good idea as far as, like, teaching kids diversity and to be inclusive and stuff like that, because but
yeah.
they're using zombies instead of, like, a minority. So it's actually
That's the
really
same. It's the same concept, though.
yeah, exactly, which is wild because 'cause you're doing that, but making it a little more open-minded for kids and teaching them a lot. I don't know, they are actually again, the concept of it still fucking boggles my mind, but
Yeah,
as they're very good movies for the kids. I think. But it is. It's funny that you say your kids are in it too, because they're fucking huge, these movies. And the third one came out, and my kids are not into the third one. They love the first one is all zombies. The second one is zombies and werewolves. They love it. And then the third one, no, they're just not into it.
Dude, I don't even remember them watching through. I remember them asking to put it on, but I don't remember like catching any of it or.
Oh, we watched it so many times, bro. All there was to watch. And then playing the songs over and over again.
No, I'm talking about the third one.
Oh yeah, the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh, the first and second, I'll fucking recite. So you throw it on, I'll finish their sentences.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the third one, I know my kids watched it, but maybe once or twice.
Yeah, it's so fun. I don't know what it is, but it's just not something that they dug. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Guardians holiday special?
I have not yet. I'm going to.
Fantastic.
It looks awesome.
It's only 45 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm gonna figure out like a good night to watch it in front of a Christmas tree, get the kids going.
Did you watch Super Mario Brothers trailer?
I don't think I saw it in its entirety, but I saw enough clips. You know what I did see? I saw someone dubbed over like with the Mario like video game voice.
Yeah, and then like there's the French edit or the Brazil edit that sounds a little better. Like him going like, "Let's go." Like it's different in French than it is like Chris Pratt's voice in English. So I don't know, but I mean it looks fun. The first movie was kind of like, I don't know what this is about, but I mean it really looks like it's gonna be fun. Like it's got so much Mario shit packed into it. I worry that it's almost gonna be too much. You know, like there's Mario Kart, there's Mario Sports, there's Mario everything in it.
Yeah.
So I feel it's gonna be too much to it's just gonna be a clusterfuck of Mario stuff. But you know, and then like not a good movie, but I don't know, man. It looks fun.
Yeah. No, it definitely looks cool. I know. Yeah, my kids will eat that up. We'll definitely go see it.
The Mean One trailer you sent me, and I watched it too. The Mean One trailer. So the Mean One being
that's the fucking thing this year.
The slasher film of the Grinch that Stole Christmas.
Clearly the theme this year. We're just making fucking horror Christmas movies.
Yeah, I mean, I heard I saw some dude on TikTok do a review of Violent Night.
Yeah.
And he was like, he does awesome like movie reviews. He's like straightforward about shit too. He's funny. He does like, you know, lists and stuff. And he did it. And he's like, this was a cinematic masterpiece. I follow him on TikTok too. He's funny as shit. But he was like, he said he just talked about how awesome the movie was. It was so good. It looks awesome too.
Yeah. Did you see the trailer for the Cocaine Bear?
That was my last note.
Oh my god, dude. I can't believe that's a real thing, but it looks fucking hilarious.
It was based on a true story, right?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah. It's based on some kind of true story about a bear finding cocaine. But this is like it's like a Sharknado type movie.
Oh, dude, it's wild. But there's a lot of stars in
it. Is there a lot of stars
in
it?
A decent amount, like ones you would like. Oh wow, I wouldn't think that guy would be in it. You know.
I know. There's where the fucking bears chasing after the ambulance and jumping it back. Yeah, that movie looks insane.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear.
Like you see it, you're like, all right, this is satire. Like this isn't real. Someone just made this movie poster to be funny. But no, it's a real movie.
Yep, off the wall. Shit's right up my alley. Can't wait to see it. Cocaine Bear. Not even fucking around. Not kind of subtle name or anything.
No, nothing. Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Coming to a theater near you. Yeah, that movie looks insane.
Yeah, like they just combined the two. They're not even saying like bear high on cocaine. They're just like cocaine bear. Cocaine bear.
That's exactly it. You've got cocaine and you've got a bear.
Right. Like, boom, there's cocaine a bear high on cocaine. Like, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like it seems like he does cocaine and then he finds more and does more cocaine.
Oh, dude, I love it. He's walking around with like coke on his nose.
Yeah,
like a legit like fucking guy who's been partying all night doing fucking bumps in the bathroom with a ball.
They have him like sneezing and his cocaine is going all over the place.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Speaking of bears, you got one walking past your ring camera right now?
No, it was actually a cat walking by. We got this stray cat that just basically lives outside.
Oh,
here all the time. Yeah.
And it's looking for a piece from what's inside.
Maybe. I don't know how it would know because those two don't ever go outside.
Yeah.
But
well, alrighty, man. I think that's gonna do it for this week. A lot of good conversation this week, which was happening.
Yep.
I am tired as shit.
Yeah, me too.
I can't wait to go to bed. Just to wake up and fucking work all over again. Ah! All righty, man. You got anything to plug?
No, not tonight.
Still no?
No.
All right. Well, you can see it scrolling across the bottom. You can get Mind Your Effing Business merchandise as well as Championship Wrestling League t-shirts and merchandise at tpublic.com/stores/spear-studios. That's Spear, SPEER. Go ahead and check out Pop Quiz Apparel for Pop Quiz pins, and you can get my comic Championship Wrestling League #1. Issue 2 is halfway completed. Well, I guess say more than halfway completed. Just the second half needs to be colored, and then once that's done, I'll letter it, and it'll be available online, and we'll talk about that. Yeah, follow us online. Mind Your Effing Business on I think it's Mind Your, like you are effing business on Instagram. Mind Your Effing Business, you are effing biz, BIZNESS on Twitter. You can join our Facebook group, the Mind Your Effing Business Facebook group, where we stream this video on, and also, I hope for some discussion to drum up someday. So do that too, and yeah, rate, review, subscribe, comment, all that other great stuff, and help us keep going, because this is fun.
Yeah.
All righty, dude. All right, man. We'll send memes back and forth all week, and then we'll chat again next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Have yourself a good night.
All right, man. You too.
Later, partner.
Later.